but let's start with inflation. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm Tatum Gwynn. Now, I know this is nothing new. I sound like a broken record, right? We already know that everyone is paying more for just about everything. You name it, from food to gasoline, prices have jumped across the board. And as we've reported, the inflation rate sitting at over 8% nationwide. So what about locally? Could prices be even higher here? Jonathan Pelasik is in studio tonight with what he has learned. Jonathan.
Hey Tatum, so here in West Texas, we do tend to pay a little bit more at the register, and it's a result of the cyclical nature of the oil and gas industry. And even when inflation across the country isn't high, if we're in a boom, West Texas will see higher prices. Everything is bigger in Texas, and in West Texas, that means bigger prices. And it's because, you guessed it, the oil and gas industry.
If you recall back in 2018, inflation rates in the country were very low, but rents here were skyrocketing. So we always have higher inflation here that's directly related to the oil boom rather than what's going on in the country.
But trying to figure out just how much more you're paying here is complicated. While easier in bigger cities, experts typically make an estimated guess for the rate in smaller cities like Midland.
In terms of accuracy, it is an estimate of an estimate, okay? And those do fluctuate quite a bit. Chances are the next month will show some other community in that situation. But I understand it's caused some focus here.
And while the inflation rate is at a 40-year high, there may be relief on the horizon. Dr. Perriman says there's reason to believe it already reached its peak.
The numbers went down slightly between March and April, so we may well have seen the peak already. I think around the level they are now is probably about as high as they'll get, plus or minus a tenth or two. And we should begin to see them come down as the year progresses.
So what can be done to help lower the inflation rate here in Midland and across the country? It starts with the Federal Reserve.
The only thing the Fed can do to stop inflation now is to raise interest rates high enough to shut down the economy and put millions of people out of work. They don't want to do that. That's not a good solution. So they're trying to tap on the brakes and to bring down the rate of inflation.
Now, these experts believe that we are heading in the right direction at this time and that the Federal Reserve is taking the necessary steps. But the belief is that these high inflation rates, well, they could still be with us for at least the next few months. But in Midland, we'll still likely see higher prices because of the oil and gas industry cyclical boom and bust nature. Tatum.